What's good, peeps? Thanks always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. I've only just got round to watching the fight. I didn't watch it live. I tried to stay up. I did. I was like that. But in the end, sleep won the battle. So I've only just watched it now on YouTube. It's 11:15 in the morning. I say that because I don't know when this video is going to go up. I'm always shocked how many of these videos appear on YouTube. Before, back in the day, if a fight was on like Box Office or anything like that, it would appear on YouTube for about an hour, then be taken down. And you only see like dodgy highlights. Now you get the full fucking video. Yes, it might be in Russian or something, but you get the full thing. I'm happy, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about it, but I am shocked that DAZN don't have their people kind of going through YouTube and cutting off all the videos. But regardless, it is up there. If anyone's not seen it, I'm guessing most of you would have seen it by the time this video is up. There are a couple of good links on YouTube, people. Another reason, obviously, that I didn't get to watch it live is because it came on so late. It came on a lot later than we're used to, right? Even in the UK, we're used to staying up to like 3, 4 in the morning. This was, I'm guessing 5, 6, 7 in the morning. I don't know. I fell asleep. I'm guessing it was that time. And that was mainly down to the fact that boxing had to heed, is that the word? Had to heed to the UFC. The biggest superstar in boxing had to wait until 2 guys with double-digit losses had finished their fight. And don't get me wrong, I'm saying double-digit losses. I was a massive fan of that BMF fight between Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz, but I do find it shocking that Canelo Alvarez, who is the biggest name in our sport, had to wait until the UFC was finished before doing his ring walk. And then DAZN even then put the UFC on in their event. They were showing the UFC. That is shocking. DAZN, who have been in this game for what? How long has DAZN been in the game now? About a year? We're going to talk about Canelo. Sorry, I'm just rattling on here. But DAZN, who have been in this game a year, still, I think, don't know how to promote boxing properly. With all the money and all the little gimmicky ideas they've got, they just don't know how to promote. That Masvidal versus Diaz fight was promoted unbelievably. Like, just unbelievably. I don't know if you, obviously it was called the BMF, the baddest motherfucker belt. But I don't know if you guys even saw the fight poster. It was, you know, like rap albums where you have a parental advisory sticker. That was what the fight poster was made of, was a parental advisory. Little things like that. I mean, both of those fighters were everywhere, especially Jorge Masvidal. He was everywhere. They had The Rock fucking come and put the belt on him. Donald Trump was in attendance. Roberto Duran walked Masvidal to the ring. I mean, it was promotion. It was an A for promotion, whereas Canelo Kovalev, and I think a lot of people were saying this in the lead up to that fight, was a fucking EF in promotion. It was shocking. It's almost like DAZN know what Canelo brings in terms of numbers, and it's like, nah, he's gonna bring 600,000 buys. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like we don't need to promote as much because he is Mr. Boxing. You do. Canelo was jumping 2 weight classes to take on arguably one of the best, if not the best light heavyweight of this generation, up there with obviously Andre Ward, but maybe the best in terms of amount of fights. Obviously Andre Ward didn't have that many fights, and it wasn't pumped, it wasn't promoted. It was shocking from DAZN, and they're gonna pump as much money they're doing into these fighters. They've got to promote the fights. They've got to promote the fights. Again, for them to kind of admit and say, okay, we have to wait for the UFC to finish, it's a massive blow to boxing. That's a massive blow to boxing. Again, we're talking about the #1 boxing superstar on the planet. If it was anyone else, okay, I get it. We're talking about the #1 superstar on the planet having to heed, hope I'm using the right word here, to what really was a non-title fight in the UFC. Shocking. All right, let's talk about the fight. What did you guys have in terms of a score up until the stoppage? I had Kovalev up, but not confidently. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, robbery and all that kind of stuff, if it went to the points. I mean, if it went to the scorecards or the judges. I mean, I had Kovalev, I think, 96, 94. I mean, so for Canelo to be up on the scorecards by a round as well, It's not a robbery, is it? That's just not Kovalev, is it? Like, what's happened to Kovalev? I mean, it's hard for me to watch that and to think that this guy used to be fucking ferocious. I mean, this guy used to be the boogeyman, the boogeyman. There was only a couple of boogeymen in boxing. It was him and Golovkin. Kovalev used to be the boogeyman, and he is now fighting on the back foot with that pity-patty jab, almost trying to almost steal rounds. That's why I say I wasn't giving him that scorecard confidently, because it's almost round stealing. Yes, he's scoring, but I mean, and it's landing, right? So the compy box will look like, okay, Kovalev, has landed 20 jabs, but they're not. You know what I mean? They're not ramrod jabs. I don't know what's happened, honestly. I mean, I get that, he got stopped by Andre Ward, and then Alvarez after that, but it's not even a shell of him. You know, people normally say, oh, the shell of the man. It's not even that. It's not even 50% of the Crusher. Honestly, I was watching a guy yesterday that was about 20% of the Kovalev that was running through light heavyweights. Just vicious, like horrible. And this guy almost looked like he was backing away, fighting on the back foot against the guy coming up from 160. I don't give a fuck if that guy's name's Canelo. Kovalev is the light heavyweight king. You've got a middleweight coming up, and Kovalev is on the back foot, fighting on the back foot, using that jab, that pity-patty jab. Don't know what to say. I was just, again, maybe that's the way he's got to win nowadays, but I was saying it on my lead-up video that I wish we could see 70% of the Crusher. And in the end, like I said, I think we got, 10 to 20% of that guy. He's done. He's done. I know I think there's an option for DAZN to give him a 2-fight contract. He's done. I'm happy he made, 12 million, because that's it. He is done, people. He can't take a punch anymore. Can't take a punch. And that's strange. That's strange. Again, that might go back to not living the life, right? I mean, and maybe he's not lived the life throughout his career, but you get away with it in your 20s and your early 30s. Late 30s, it catches up with you, and maybe it's just caught up with him. Because it's weird. The Andre Ward fight, he got hit with a couple of headshots, but majority was to the body. Again, even the Alvarez fight, he kind of slumped down. It wasn't like he took a beating, but it just looks like he's gone. He's gone, and I mean, that was horrible to see. And it sounds like I'm not giving Canelo credit. I will give Canelo some credit, by the way. That's coming. But I am just a bit shocked. You know, that fight also, it mirrored a bit the Anthony Yarde fight. Don't shoot me down. It did. Whereas Kovalev's winning the fight on the jab. And I remember I was tweeting. You can go and check the tweets, right? They're there for history. I was tweeting as Kovalev was winning the fight on the jab. I was tweeting saying, Anthony Yarde's got a chance here. Because Kovalev, looked like an old man on the back foot scared. He looked scared, and it was very much like that. And whereas Canelo landed clean and that was it, Yarde was close as well. Yarde was very, very close. And then it would have been a very similar performance where Kovalev's up on the judges' scorecards, but gets caught later on. It was very, very close. So now we have Canelo, who's now a light heavyweight champion. So this guy has won belts, real belts, in 3 weight divisions. I'm not going to give him the Rocky Fielding one at 168. That was a regular title, but he's the light heavyweight king. And credit to him, right? That stoppage was vicious. Oh, the way he just kind of slept him on the ropes like that. I mean, Canelo's got some power, boy. Got some power. There's something about Canelo. I don't know what it is. I do know what it is, actually. It's obviously the Clenbuterol issue from before. But there's something about him where every time he puts in a great performance, I'm just like, all right. But we don't have any proof, so let me give him some plaudits. This guy has jumped up a couple of weight classes and stopped a guy that everyone thought he might stop, but a lot of people were saying it could go to points. He's now the light heavyweight king. I don't think, and people were talking about Bertabiev, stay away. Bertabiev won't fight on the back foot. He won't fight. He'll fight fire with fire, and he's just bigger and stronger than you. So I don't think he's going to go to Beterbiev. I do wonder what he's going to do. I think the best option really is Golovkin at 168 pounds. It makes sense, right? I mean, the zone are going to be putting pressure on him to kind of, if we're paying you 35 million, we need some sign-ups. And I think Golovkin really the only fight, the trilogy, hopefully they'll promote it a bit better. But it's a trilogy, it makes sense. Golovkin needs to move up, right? That 160 division's killing him in terms of making weight. He looks pretty much done after the Derevchenko fight. So Canelo might look at that and think, it isn't going to be as hard as the first two. I think it will be personally, but he'll look at it and think differently. So I think that makes sense for Canelo. It was a good performance from Canelo. It was a mature performance. He didn't look panicked, right? I mean, even he must have thought, I'm close to being down on the scorecard. So even though I've got a couple of judges in my pocket, I'm close. But he didn't panic. He boxed the way he wanted to box. And when he started landing vicious punches, Kovalev didn't want to know. Is he now pound for pound number one? Yes, he is. Absolutely. I think goes without question. I mean, I did a video saying there's a good argument for him to be number one already. Now that he's stopped Kovalev, stopped him, slept him in the 11th round, I don't see how you can have Loma, Crawford, or even Inoue. A lot of people are talking about Inoue. You can't have, or Usyk, you can't have any of those guys above him. I mean, this guy's jumped up 2 weight classes. No matter what we think about Kovalev being done, no matter what we think in terms of the asterisk next to Canelo's name, the fact is he jumped up 2 weight classes and slept his opponent. Normally when a guy jumps up 2 weight classes, obviously the heavier guy will be the stronger guy, and most likely the lighter guy will win it on points by kind of moving in and out, pity-patty stuff. He walked Kovalev down and stopped him. Stopped him. Yeah, but well done to him and his team. I see a lot of people, I think Spencer Fearon, Michael Benson, a few others have put a list of what Canelo's won so far in his career. What is he, 29? Fucking hell. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. As much as I'm not his biggest fan, his resume, forget even the resume, right? Because the resume looks at names, the people he's fought and stuff like that. I'm just talking about, they had the list of titles, like WBA, WBC, all that, ring, all this shit. It's fucking ridiculous, man. So again, a lot of people want the money, right? A lot of fighters nowadays are saying, I want this money, I want that money. Go and do something like Canelo's doing. Literally go and win fucking titles everywhere like he's doing, and you'll get paid. A lot of people want the money off the one fucking title defense or something right now. Canelo's getting paid because he deserves to get paid, because he's doing crazy things. And he will continue to do crazy things for the rest of his career. We've probably got another 4 or 5 years of Canelo, and no doubt he's going to add to that. I don't know if he's going to go higher. I mean, I think he's joked about going to cruiserweight. I doubt it. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Anyway, what do you guys think of the fight? Let me know. Peace.